Hey fellow Dashers, it's Dean here. Listen, if you want to bump up your door dashing game and take it to another professional level, this video is for you, okay? Today's video is going to be about communicating with your customers from the moment you accept the order to the moment you drop off, right? Now, there are a lot of Dashers out there that only do it a few hours a week, and there's really no communication. I can't tell you how many times my own customers, when I speak to them, will say, I am the only Dasher that ever said anything to them when dealing with their order, which I find hard to believe. But I communicate with my customers on every single order, every single time. Okay? So what I'm going to discuss today is the kind of communication that you should be using from the moment you accept the order to the moment you drop off. All right? So let's start this from the beginning. Okay? So the first thing is you receive an order and you accept the order, right? At this point, once you accept the order, you see where you're going, you probably know the restaurant, and you start heading towards that restaurant. Now, if you want, optionally, you can text the customer. And again, if you don't know how to do that, once you accept the order, you'll see the person's name, and next to their name, there's a telephone icon and a text icon. 80 to 90% of the time, the text icon now is going to take you within the Doordash app communication system. Right? So whenever you press that, you get to the chat box, you send a message, the customer will receive that message, right? So let's start from, again, the point of accepting the order. Now, I personally don't send a message at this point. Once I accept the order and I'm on the way to the restaurant, I don't really communicate with the customer because by this point, the customer literally just placed the order a minute or two ago, right? So they're not really expecting any kind of communication at all, if they're expecting anything at all. But at this point, there's no reason to talk to the customer because they just pressed the button to place the order. And then within 60 seconds, the order's out and I've picked it up, right? So at this point, I head to the restaurant. Now, if you want, as an option, you could say something like, hey, John, this is Dean, your favorite Doordash driver. I always include favorite Doordash driver because after a while they start to know that I'm their favorite, even if they didn't know it before. Okay, so hey John, this is Dean, your favorite Doordash driver. I'm on the way to the restaurant to pick up your order. I'll let you know when I've picked it up and I'm on the way to you, right? Something like that. So you can let them know that you're on the way to the restaurant, that you are the driver, right? You can say hi by name and you can give them your name. You can do that. I don't ever do that. I don't ever communicate with the customer when I go to the restaurant. But this is an option if you wanted to really communicate for the whole trip. Okay? So the next step is going to be your arrival at the restaurant. So you arrive at the restaurant, you click on the button that says, arrived at store, right? And that's where it gives you all the information that you need at this point. So at this point, you go into the store and let's say there's a little bit of a wait, a couple of minutes. Now, again, up till this point, assuming that the order will be ready by the pickup time. So let's say the pickup time is 1:10 and it's now 1:05. I'm not saying anything to the customer at this point because everything's fine. I'm there. Again, this whole process has only been about 5 minutes. They just placed the order, assuming I got to the restaurant in 5 or 6 minutes, and now I'm waiting a little bit. That's fine. I don't need to say anything to the customer at this point. But if you know that the food is going to be late. Again, so if I'm at Los Cabos and the pickup time is 1:10, it's already 1:08, and the person that comes out to give the food says, hey, Dean, listen, it's going to be another 10 minutes. We're really backed up in the kitchen, right? I know it's going to be late at this point. So then at that point, before I even leave the restaurant, I'm still waiting, I will send a text to the customer. And again, let's assume that this is my first text to the customer. It's going to say, hey, John, this is Dean, your favorite Doordash driver. I'm currently at Los Cabos waiting for your order. They appear to be very busy, and your order is already past the pickup point, right? So I'm letting them know that I'm there, and they've already passed the pickup point, but I'm there. I'm still there. I'm waiting for their order, right? So again, we'll start from the beginning. Hey, John, this is Dean, your favorite Doordash driver. I am currently at Los Cabos waiting for your order. They appear to be very busy and your order is already past the pickup time, but hopefully it should be ready soon As soon as they hand it off to me and I hit the road, I will send you an update, right? So you're letting them know that their food is in good hands, that even though it's late, you're sitting there, you're waiting. You're also telling them. Now, you got to remember, a lot of these customers, they know how DoorDash works. They know that your time is valuable, right? When you let them know that you've been there and you're still there and you are waiting for their order, I can't tell you how many times that I've arrived at the customer, they actually came out and gave me $2 or $3 more and said, here, this is for your wait. I'm sorry it took so long, right? Now, I wouldn't have gotten that tip if I didn't mention to them that I've been there waiting for their order and that it's late. But also, for their sake, you're letting them know that because the pickup is late, that you may get there, you may arrive to their house past the drop-off time. And so this way, they're not going to be mad at you for doing that. They understand that it's the restaurant's fault. The restaurant was late, and it was no fault of your own. So this way, they know that it's not your fault. And also, usually when I text, they either say nothing, because some customers don't even care if you're communicating. They don't even know you're talking to them. But many of them do. And at this point, when I give that message, they'll say something like, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, words of kindness. They know that your time is valuable and that you're still there. Now, let's assume that nothing's wrong with the order, right? The order is on time, right? So I get the order, the restaurant gives me the order, and then I go into my app and I've confirmed pickup, right? For most of my orders, this is the first communication I will have with my customer. So what I usually write at this point is, I don't even say the name of the customer. I just have stored, and this is something you can do too. You type out the text that you want to use, and then you copy it and paste it into your clipboard, and then pin it in your clipboard so that it's always there. If you don't pin it, your copy text will go away after 30 minutes. So I have several messages that are pinned to my clipboard that are always there. So every time I go door dashing, those messages are ready to go. So at this point, I send my first message. And my first message to the customer is, hi, this is Dean, your DoorDash driver. I've just picked up your food, and I'm on the way to you now. I'll be there as fast as I can, right? And I usually put a little emoji of a car with some smoke coming out of it, which some people think is cute. But what I'm telling them is, you know, I just picked up your order, and from now to the time that it takes to get to your house, I'll be on the way there, right? And they know, most customers know exactly how far they live from the restaurant. Some people don't. They just know that the restaurant they order from on the app, they don't even know where it is, but most people do, right? So that gives them a good idea of about the time that you should be arriving at their house, right? So, okay, I've picked up the food. I've sent them that message that I'm on the way. Now, I'm on the way to the customer's house. Unless something extraordinary, an accident, fire truck, things that are obstacles that I know are going to cause me to be much later than you would normally expect for the distance that it takes to get to their house. At this point, I'll send them a message. Hey, John, it's Dean again, just letting you know there's a little bit of traffic here. Apparently, there's some police action. Somebody got murdered in the middle of the road, and now I'm stuck with your food. Right? Hopefully not that message. But again, generally, I don't have to send that message because there's nothing that extraordinary. Usually, if there's a little bit of traffic, it's only going to take me an extra 30 seconds to a minute to get to their house because of the traffic. So generally, I don't send anything at this point. So then you're driving to their house, right? The next step is that you've arrived at their house, right? So you have a couple of options here. It's either going to be a leave by door or a hand to customer, right? So now if it's a leave by door, I walk up to the door, I put the food in front of the door, right? I then go into my app and I press the text icon. I have a message in there, again, pinned to my clipboard that says, your order is by your door. Thank you so much for the tip, with an exclamation point, and I also use the praying hands emoji at the end. It shows sincerity, right? Your food is by your door, you're informing them that their food is there, and you're thanking them for the tip. Really goes a long way for the customer. Now, I want to tell you something. Some orders you'll pick up and you know it's a very small tip, right? And when you get there, you sort of have this thing in your mind like, fuck them. They only gave me $1, right? But you don't know their financial situation. They may have just enough money to place the order and all they have left is $1, right? Or maybe they were going to place an order and have an extra item, but they said, well, if they have an extra item, they won't have any money left over. So let me knock that item off so I can give this dasher at least $1, right? You don't know their financial situation. So I always thank them for the tip, no matter how small it is. Even if I drive away and I go, fuck, it was only $1 tip, right? I'm letting them know that I appreciate the tip that they did give, okay? So whether it's a small tip or a big tip, that is the message. Your food is by your door. Thank you so much for the tip. The other option is going to be if it's a hand to customer, right? So then you have their food, you ring the bell, they open the door, right? You say, hey, how you doing? Good. There's the exchange. You give them the bag. So I usually at this point say, thank you very much. Have a great night. Hey, listen, thank you for the tip. I'll say it right to them, right? Now, of course, a lot of times they grab the food and they just go inside like you have the plague, right? They don't even want to talk to you. So especially you got guys that look like they're tweakers that open the door, grab the food and close the door and you're like, what the fuck was that, right? But anyway, in any case, right, I tell them to their face, thank you so much for the tip. I appreciate that. And they usually smile and say, oh, you're very welcome. Now, if you don't get to say that, what I'll do is I complete the order, right? I've handed it to the customer. I complete the order. It gives you the order total. And then almost before I drive away, I will press that chat icon that brings me back to the previous chat string with that customer. And I will send them a message. It's basically the same as the other one, except I'm not telling them the food is by their door because they already have it. So that message that I have pinned to my clipboard says, thank you so much for the tip, right? That's it. Again, with the praying hands. You've already dropped it off. If you didn't get to say it to their face, say it to them in text. Thank you so much for the tip. Again, show sincerity. They appreciate that. When I'm picking up an order, I've got the order and I send them the message that says, hey, this is Dean, your favorite Doordash driver. I've just picked up your food and I'm on the way to you now. I'll be there as fast as I can. If it's a long distance order, let's say it's, 8 miles away, right? And I know that it's going to take me 15 minutes to get there, right? I will follow that message up with another message that says, with the time that I think it's going to take me. So when I look at the directions and let's say it says 13 minutes, right? If it's only a mile or two, I don't usually do this, but only if it's a long distance trip, I'll add a secondary message that says, and customers find this funny, it'll say about 13 minutes according to the Google gods, right? I always write that. A lot of them get a kick out of that, right? So I'm letting them know that according to Google Maps, they understand what I'm saying. It's about 13 minutes. So this way, they know I left the restaurant, and that since they live far away, it's going to take about 13 minutes. Again, some customers have no idea how far the restaurant is. They don't even know where they're ordering. They know the name of the restaurant. They don't know where it is. So if it's a long distance thing, I'm letting them know that I just picked it up, but it's still going to be another 13 minutes before you even see me, right? So I will add that secondary message. That's about it. I mean, there are some times where, I will drop off the order, thank them for the tip, and like 10 minutes later, they're going to respond with, oh, no, thank you, I appreciate it, or, like some other late. And then I might just give them a thumbs up, emoji, just let them know that I received their message and that I appreciate that they even thank me, There's other communication. I mean, I've actually communicated with my customers en route, depending on the feeling I get about how they're receiving my communication. Some people are very friendly. They'll respond to you. They'll talk to you as if they're like your friend, right? In which case I have little quips that I use. Like I'll say, I'll be there as fast as I can. I'm from New York City, so I don't really understand what speed limits or red lights are for, so I should be there pretty quick. Stupid shit like that. And they like that. They like, communication. So this whole idea of communicating with the customer brings their level of experience of using DoorDash to that higher professional level. They will appreciate it. And I'll tell you what, if their order is going to be late and you don't say anything, and you not only pick up late, but you get to their house late, these people are going to give you a review and they're going to think it's all your fault and they're going to give you a negative review, right? They're going to think that it's your fault, right? And then conversely, the opposite is true. If you communicate with your customer the whole way, even if everything goes smoothly, everything's on time, you drop off early, people appreciate the communication that you're giving them while you are handling their food. And at this point, they may actually go out of their way and give you a positive review because of the communication that they may not have done if you didn't say anything at all to them, right? It's almost like they don't even know you. But when you communicate, they sort of feel like they know you a little bit and they go, you know what? I'm going to leave this guy a good review. He was really nice, right? So there's the positive impact of communicating with the customer, also avoiding the negative impact of not communicating with the customer if something goes wrong, right? Because again, they're always going to assume that it's your fault. But for the most part, all communications with the customer are seen as very professional, right? So that's something you want to do. I mean, I can't tell you how many customers have told me when I get a chance to speak to them that nobody, no Dasher in all the time that they've been ordering food has ever said a word to them, right? I have heard that so many times. I go, really? And they go, yep, you're the only Dasher that's ever said anything to us. So I'm like, right on, man, right? No problem. I'm here for you. It's stupid. It's just food delivery. But these little things can help not only bump up your ratings, but like I said earlier, I've gotten extra tips a number of times when the customer knows that I'm waiting for their food and I've been waiting there a while. They know that my time is precious in the business of door dashing, and they will give me an extra tip. That happens a lot, more than you know. So that is another good reason to communicate with the customer. Okay? So we got this. Learn to communicate with your customers properly. After a while, it becomes second nature, right? When you have the messages pinned within your comments, right? I mean, with your clipboard, it becomes second nature. You pick up the order, you hit text, boom, it's Dean, your favorite DoorDash driver, blah, 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 and you send it out, get on the road, drop off. Hey, thank you so much for the tip. Your order's by your door. It becomes second nature as you're doing this. You don't even feel like you're doing anything, but to the customer, they don't know that you're in automated mode, right? They probably think that you took the time to either speak it or write it and say, hey, thank you so much for the tip. That was very nice of you. They don't know that you just knocked it off a clipboard, right? So again, this is a way of bumping up your level of professionalism while you're a Door Dasher, okay? I hope this piece of advice helps you. The first time, if you don't communicate with your customer now and you start doing that, the first time you get an extra $5 tip because they knew you were waiting, you'll go, thank you, Dean. I appreciate that, right? Even if it's just one time ever, then it's worth you watching this video. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that so far. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right? Have a great day.